Today I'm going to demonstrate the assembly of Dr. K's bath seat. Now this is very easy to assemble. There are no tools required. But it's also important to note there's some very important tricks that if you miss them, it can be a challenge to assemble. Make sure you stick around to see all the tricks and tips that make assembly of this bath seat easy and successful. Welcome to Tomahawk DIY, everyone. I'm Mike. Let's take a closer look. I'm excited to work with Dr. K's and show you how easy it is to assemble this shower bench or bath seat. You can buy this on Amazon. I'll include a link down in the video description. This has some great features. It's very lightweight and it's extremely stable. This has adjustable height in a greater range than competitive product. Fits in small tubs and showers, and its anti-slip feet and seat will keep it in place. It also supports up to 250 pounds. Right, as we begin, let's check all the parts to be sure that there's nothing missing. If in the rare instance that somehow Dr. K's is missing some parts, you can just call this 800 number, 888-507-0576. We've got our bath seat, we've got the two upper leg units, we've got the assembled crossbars, 9 washers and 9 hand screws. Got the washers already on the screws here. So we got those. We've got 4 lower legs. All right, we have all the parts we need. Let's take a look at assembling this. It's very easy, no tools are required. First step, get the bath seat. See, it's got this nice textured surface on the sitting side. Turn it over, look for the part that says rear and points away. Next, we need to find the number 1. There's number 1 printed right here. Right there's number 1, here's number 2. Then we take our 2 upper leg units. We're going to look on them to find the numbers. There's number 2, and here's the number 1. So it's important that you match up the number 1 on the leg with the number 1 on the seat. That one goes here. Get the other leg. We've got the number 2. We have the number 2 stamped right there. And it lines up with the number 2 here. You'll see that the leg is flat in the middle. The 2 flat parts sit on top of one another, just like so. All right, now before we put screws in, we're going to check each of the holes that they line up. It looks like they're all good. With the upper leg units sitting on the seat, we're going to take our hand screws. And this is the most important step and the easiest one to get mixed up on. Going to put the first one in, might have to jiggle it until it's lined up. Don't screw it down all the way. You can see it's still very loose, not screwed in all the way. We're going to do the same thing with each of the other 4 screws. Just put it in part way, about halfway, leaving it halfway undone. Same thing on this side, put about halfway in, and then the 5th one back here, about halfway. All right, now that all 5 of these are in halfway and loosely, they're all fitting correctly into the screw holes. Now we'll go through and tighten them all down all the way. I'm going to start in the middle here. Now that I've got them all somewhat tight, I'm going to go back and do a final tightening. There we go. All 5 are nice and secure now. We're now ready for the next step. We'll be attaching the crossbar to the legs. Now this is, again, an important step not to get mixed up on. Look for the little rivet holes or circles on the ends of each leg. As you slide this in, don't worry if the assembled crossbar seems to be off by 1 millimeter or 2. The parts will fit securely once we get these hand screws in place and tightened. Now I'll be taking the hand screws and putting them in one by one to the crossbar. Again, Put it down loosely, don't tighten it in all the way yet. Come to this side and do the same thing. I'll do this leg. You might need to move the crossbar up and down just a little bit to get the screw to tighten in. If you get one that seems like it doesn't want to go in, just back it out, move the crossbar up and down a little bit to realign, and then try it again. Might take a couple tries, but you'll soon feel it. Don't tighten it down all the way. Come to the back one now. I've got all 4 in loosely. Now I'll go back through and tighten them just like we did with the others. Now as you do your final tightening, one thing to watch is the space between the crossbar and this upper leg. As we tighten down, watch that space disappear. So you want to repeat that on all 4 legs until the crossbar, the space between the crossbar and the leg is completely gone. Now we're ready to move on and attach the lower leg units. Put the leg in. As you put the leg on, go ahead and push it down, then push this little round golden colored knob in until it pops out. We've got to do that for each and every one of these. Push the leg on, push the button. All right, push the leg on, push, and slide the brass button in. All right, now we're ready for the very important post-assembly safety check. First, we need to check the tips of the legs, have a small triangle on the rubber side. So the easiest way to do this, turn it over and come down and take a look at each leg. Each of the 4 rubber feet should have this small triangle lined up with the holes. That's very important because that helps in the stability of the shower seat. If you find that somehow the triangle has been moved and is no longer lined up with the holes, you can just grab the leg, the rubber foot, and turn until that triangle once again aligns with the holes. All right, our leg rubber feet, the leg tips are all aligned properly. Let's check the hand screws. So we're going to turn this back over. One by one, I'm going to check that each of the 9 hand screws are all tight. Oh, and right here, found one that was loose. So that's an example of why it's important to do this safety check. All right, we're going to check that all 4 legs are adjusted to the same height. Now, these are easy to adjust. Push in the button and just slide them down. Whenever you adjust it, be sure the brass knob is sticking out when it's done. Currently, all 4 legs are adjusted to the same height with the knob on the very first hole. The next check is that all 4 brass knobs are sticking out all the way. Again, that's a safety feature. If it's not sticking out fully, each time you adjust the leg, be sure this brass tip is fully out. If it's not fully out, the leg's prone to slip and cause injuries. This chart shows how the leg push button, that brass button, needs to be fully out. If it's not fully out, as in this one, you've got a safety problem. All right, our last 2 safety checks, we need to go to the shower or tub where this is going to be used. The next safety check, is to ensure that the bath seat fits securely in the tub and does not wobble. This is holding nice and secure. The final check is that the person or people who are using the bath and shower seat test it for the right fit before using it in the shower. It's obviously going to be slippery and wet when you're in here. If that feels a little too high, going to adjust each of these knobs. I'm going to push it in, slide it down. I'm going to adjust it to the third one up. So I need to repeat these safety checks that the legs are all the same height and that the buttons are fully protruded. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. With all 4 legs the same height, let's try that again. It's nice and sturdy, and it feels great. All right, we can check this off. It's good to go. We've seen just how easy this bath and shower seat is to assemble. If you haven't purchased one already, you can pick it up from Amazon. There's a link down in the video description. Thanks so much for watching Tomahawk DIY. Leave a comment. I hope you found this helpful. Please like the video, subscribe, and have a great day.